Welcome back to Skytech-Lens. The internet exploded with a wild rumor, a 300% tariff on McDonald's in China and India. It sounded like satire, but the story went viral, sparking heated debates about Big Macs, trade wars, and American brands under fire. Suddenly, McDonald's was more than fast food. It was a symbol caught in a global storm of economics, supply chains, and national pride. The Golden Arches, once a beacon of globalization, now stood at the center of a geopolitical showdown. So, what's really happening? Let's cut through the noise and uncover the real pressures McDonald's faces in these crucial markets. Was there ever a 300% tariff, or is this just a case of viral misinformation? Let's dig in. Let's get straight to it. The infamous 300% tariff on McDonald's in China or India. Completely false. No official policy, no customs document, no targeted tax, just a viral myth born from online speculation and amplified by social media. The real story is more complicated and in many ways more challenging for McDonald's. Instead of a single crushing tariff, the company faces a web of non-tariff barriers and regulatory hurdles. In China, the government's push for domestic supply chains means more scrutiny on imports and a preference for local products. For McDonald's, that means adapting to stricter customs, local sourcing, and a less predictable business environment. India's Make in India policy nudges foreign companies to invest locally, raising costs and complicating quality control. The real pain isn't a headline-grabbing tariff, it's the slow grind of bureaucracy, food safety checks, and buy local campaigns. National pride is another invisible barrier. In both countries, American brands can become targets for boycotts when tensions flare. These grassroots movements, fueled by social media, can hurt sales far more than any official policy. A tariff is a known cost. A sudden boycott is unpredictable and can devastate a brand overnight. So, while the 300% tariff was fiction, the anxiety it tapped into is real. McDonald's is under pressure, not from a single law, but from 1,000 small cuts, regulatory, cultural, and economic. The weapons aren't blunt tariffs, but subtle, effective tools of nationalism and public sentiment. The fire is real, even if the spark was a lie. The challenge is ongoing and the rules keep changing. For McDonald's, survival means adapting to a landscape where perception is as powerful as policy. The real battle is just beginning. Facing global headwinds, McDonald's had to rethink its playbook. In the US and other Western markets, inflation drove customers back to value menus and bundled deals. Classic McDonald's territory, the company doubled down on affordability, using app deals and promotions to keep budget-conscious diners coming back. But in Asia, especially China and India, the story was different. Local competitors offered cheaper, culturally relevant options, challenging McDonald's on both price and identity. In China, a sluggish economy and rising local brands forced McDonald's to slow expansion and focus on digital ordering, delivery, and its McCafe concept. The goal: sell not just burgers, but convenience and a modern experience. In India, McDonald's had to localize deeply, think Makaloo Tikki burgers and vegetarian menus, to compete with cheap street food and diverse tastes. The company's franchise model faced its own hurdles, from operational disputes to adapting to regional preferences. The global one-size-fits-all model no longer works. In the West, value is king. In Asia, it's just the entry ticket. McDonald's must now balance nationalism, local competition, and regulatory scrutiny. The tactics that work in Ohio won't cut it in Shanghai or Mumbai. The company is walking a strategic tightrope, where one misstep could mean losing ground in markets that were supposed to drive future growth. The world's tastes are splintering, and McDonald's has to keep up. Adapt or fall behind, that's the new reality. In China and India, McDonald's faces two very different battlegrounds. In China, national pride and a push for homegrown brands mean Western chains are under constant scrutiny. Local competitors aren't just cheaper, they're symbols of Chinese innovation and identity. A single political misstep or controversial statement can trigger online boycotts, emptying restaurants overnight. Even with local partnerships, McDonald's must constantly prove its value to both regulators and the public. In India, the challenge is price sensitivity and fierce loyalty to local flavors. Street food and local restaurants offer cheap, authentic alternatives, forcing McDonald's to localize menus and pricing. Operational costs are high, from expensive real estate to complex supply chains that respect religious and cultural norms. Here, boycotts are less dramatic but more insidious, a slow drift away if McDonald's loses its value edge. the company fights back, with deep menu localization and affordable deals, trying to become as much an Indian brand as a global one. In both countries, the old globalization playbook is obsolete. In China, the fight is political and cultural. In India, it's economic and culinary. There's no single Asia strategy. Each market demands a unique approach. For McDonald's, survival means constant adaptation, not just to policy, but to the shifting tides of public opinion. The stakes are high, and the margin for error is razor thin. The battle for hearts, minds, and wallets is relentless. The 300% tariff was fake, but the trade war is all too real. McDonald's is caught in the crossfire as the US and China threaten sweeping tariffs and retaliatory measures. Even if McDonald's isn't directly targeted, tariffs on key ingredients or equipment can drive up costs fast. China's control over rare earth elements adds another layer of risk. These minerals power everything from kitchen equipment to digital kiosks. Export controls or supply disruptions could halt restaurant growth or force expensive workarounds. Menu inflation is a looming threat. Higher costs for potatoes, beef, or tech mean higher prices for customers. In hyper-competitive markets like China and India, even a small price hike can send customers to local rivals. Switching to local suppliers isn't always easy. Quality, volume, and taste are all at stake. The real danger isn't a single dramatic event, but a war of 1,000 cuts, rising shipping costs, customs delays, and sudden shortages. McDonald's must build a more resilient, localized supply chain, but that's slow, costly, and risky. The company is racing to adapt before the next shock hits. Every new policy or rumor can shake the foundations of its business. The future depends on how fast McDonald's can reinforce its operations while the trade storm rages. The challenge is survival, not just growth. In this environment, agility and resilience are everything. The golden arches are under siege from every direction. What's next for McDonald's in this volatile landscape? Let's map out the possible futures. First, the optimistic de-escalation, trade tensions cool, tariffs recede, and McDonald's refocuses on growth, localization, and innovation. Stability would let the company invest in new menu items, tech, and expansion, while rebuilding trust with consumers. Next, the status quo smoldered, tensions simmer, non-tariff barriers persist, and McDonald's is stuck in a cycle of slow, hard-fought progress. The company survives, but every step forward is a struggle against regulatory and cultural headwinds. Then, the nationalist backlash, a political crisis, triggers a wave of anti-American sentiment, sparking boycotts and protests. Sales plummet, the brand becomes toxic, and McDonald's is forced to close stores and write down investments. Even local partnerships may not be enough to shield the company from public anger. Finally, the full-blown trade war. The US and China impose massive tariffs, supply chains collapse, and McDonald's faces chaos. Ingredient costs soar, equipment is hard to source, and the brand's promise of consistency is shattered. The company must either raise prices or radically reinvent its menu, risking its core identity. Each scenario is possible, and the future isn't set. McDonald's fate in Asia will be shaped by politics, economics, and public sentiment. The company must prepare for storms even as it hopes for calm. In this world, a single rumor can change everything overnight. The challenge is to adapt faster than the headlines. The stakes, not just survival, but the future of global business. For McDonald's, every decision now is a bet on what tomorrow will bring. The only certainty is uncertainty. The golden arches must be ready for anything. After all the rumors and risks, what's the real verdict for McDonald's in China and India? The 300% tariff was noise, a viral distraction from deeper, real challenges. The signal is clear. McDonald's faces mounting pressure from economic nationalism, regulatory hurdles, and fierce, local competition. A full exit is unlikely, but business as usual is over. The era of easy globalization has ended. McDonald's must localize supply chains, empower local teams, and master public relations in a nationalistic climate. The brand must be both global and local, an American icon and a community player. The balancing act is delicate and will be tested again and again. Growth in Asia is no longer guaranteed. It's a slow, risky climb. McDonald's performance here is a warning for all multinationals. The rules of global business have changed. The fight isn't for survival today, but for future growth and reputation. The real battle is against a shifting world, not a single tariff. The verdict: transformation is essential. McDonald's must become more resilient, agile, and politically savvy. The ground has shifted, and the noise is a constant reminder of that instability. The golden arches aren't falling, but they're being tested like never before. We've cut through the rumors and seen how a single myth exposed real vulnerabilities for McDonald's. The golden arches in China and India are now a barometer for globalization's health. The battlefield has changed. It's not just about price and quality, but public opinion and geopolitics. A brand's nationality can be an asset or a liability overnight. McDonald's must balance its American identity with deep local integration. The big question: are boycotts and sentiment now more dangerous than tariffs? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. Subscribe the channel for more updates.